Hey guys, we got Cloud9 versus CLG. Cloud9, what to say? They look really great and they play great. They play a lot of comps. They're coached well. Their players are good. Management good. I love Cloud9 and I love what they stand for as a team. The only thing I probably disagree with Cloud9 on is how memey they are, and I guess like how much free reign they give to players sometimes. But I actually do think that's part of what makes Cloud9 good, and I'm just too strict and I gotta stick up my butt. But for CLG, on the other hand, what is this team? What is this team? The only thing that keeps CLG afloat, I feel like, is Pyre Beeble. If CLG doesn't have Pyre Beeble, I think they're a 9-0-9 team. Genuinely, I think they wouldn't have won any of their games without Pyre Beeble if they had an average mid. So whoever landed Pyre Beeble on CLG, props to you, because I think that's the only reason why you guys are staying afloat this split. Pyre Beeble is literally the only player that's keeping you guys afloat. So without further ado, let's start. Alright, Kench ban, Nocturne ban, let's ban Scion on CLG also, make them sweat. Woo! Kench and Scion burn versus CLG, make them sweat. Oh my god, Wiggly looks like he's dead inside. Cassio ban, I like. Sneaky showed ability to play Cassio. What does C9 ban? Israel, okay. I mean, they're expecting CLG to ban Lucian, and they want to first pick Urgot. So they want to ban Israel so they don't get Israel for free while they first pick Urgot. So pretty smart ban. First pick Urgot. Herpaderp. Who knew this was going to happen when they banned Israel? What does CLG do? Aatrox again? Aatrox into Urgot. It's a fine matchup. Remember, I will quote CLG. Aatrox into Urgot is fine. We just play the matchup bad. Are you mad that Licorice keeps playing Urgot? No. I would love to see Licorice on more champions, but when you get free Urgot, play free Urgot. Yorick into Urgot's good though. I like this pick. Yorick and his 4 sons and his girlfriend can beat the giant monster Urgot. Weldon is not the only pick and ban coach up there. They have Irene up there, so it's not Weldon doing pick and ban. It's Irene. All-Star, that's a good return. I think teams should value All-Star a little bit higher. I'm curious why more teams are okay with just giving up All-Star so freely. Sivir blind. I would love to see the Vayne pick. Kaisa. I think Vayne would have been fine there. Vayne's decent versus Sivir. Okay, it's not decent. You do get pushed in, but you can have kill potential on Sivir later. And also, it's really good versus All-Star in general. I think Vayne is actually incredibly greedy pick. Never mind. CLG should Silas into All-Star. The awkward thing about them taking Silas here is because they already have Urgot, so Silas goes mid for sure. A lot of Silas's strength comes from being able to flex pick. Silas here still isn't bad, but I'm not too sure about blinding Silas. Blind Silas versus stuff like Syndra can be really dangerous. Because good Syndras will cancel Silas every time that he's trying to like dash in. And then when you get your dash cancelled and you can't close the gap as Silas, you can't use your W, and there's a lot of problems playing versus a Syndra. What would be a good Vayne team comp? When the enemy picks Israel, when they have All-Star, when you have a winning support matchup, when you're not going to get shoved in, when you have winning mid and jungle. There's just a lot of conditions to make Vayne work. So it ends up other champions are better than playing Vayne. What's my conclusion after my podcast with Weldon? My conclusion is Weldon is an incredibly good talker, and he knows how to talk. That's my conclusion after having my talk show with Weldon. He's very slippery. I want to see some MF, to be honest, or Zaya, to be honest. What do you think? Just not meta. There's better champions. Forgiven to CLG. Woo! CLG has been very conflict averse. Anytime a player has caused conflict for them or things gotten difficult, they choose to stay away from conflict, right? So it would be an off-brand move of CLG to pick up Forgiven, but maybe CLG needs to make off-brand moves. Once the draft is done, we'll talk about the draft. Okay. Galio support, Jarvan. So what do we got here? What have we got here, boys? We got a team fight comp versus a team fight comp from what it looks like. Oh, that's team fight champion, team fight champion, team fight champion, team fight champion. Silas can 1-3-1, but mostly a team fight comp. Team fight champion, split push champion. Team fight champion can work in a split push, can work in a team fight. So actually, looking at this game, what CLG can force a 1-3-1 with Yorick and his 4 sons, but majorly it's a team fight comp. And whoever plays a team fight better is going to come out ahead. There are a few item power spikes that we really want to think about. It's the 2 item power spikes from CLG's carries. Like CLG has more of a traditional backline, and they want to engage Wombo combo with their backline. Jarvan goes in, Ori ult, Galio ult on top of it. So they have a very one-dimensional way of like, hey, we're going to team fight like this. On the other hand, Cloud9 has to be a little bit smarter with their team fight. Alistar coming in from the side and flanking. Sejuani may be using QR differently so she can hit the Kai'Sa. Urgot coming in from a different angle. Silas coming in from a different angle. CLG have a very straightforward smash into your face 5v5 teamfight comp with a little spiciness with Yorick being able to split push, where Cloud9 doesn't have a straight up fist into fist, I can fight you like this kind of teamfight comp, where they want to kind of run down people with Sivir speed or come at angles with Alistar or God or Silas. So both teams have a little bit of spice to them, and it's just not a straight up teamfight comp, but mostly it is 2 teamfight comps. Why does Orianna get picked so much lately? Great blind pick and does well in a lot of matchups. She's a very flexible pick. Yorick's problem is that the maiden took the kids. Yorick pick reminds me of Impact. I don't think TL will ever pick Yorick like that again. Best engaged support? Alistar, dude. What else? I interviewed Darshan after this game. It was sad. GG, I think he got poke off. Early game's gonna be pretty stale. There aren't really lanes that junglers can gank for. Maybe topside. Yorick with E flash. That's probably the only lane that C9 could potentially gank for. Even then, that's kind of hard. And for CLG then, maybe if Urgot is playing too far up, Silas is incredibly hard to gank this early because Ori doesn't have both. There's just not going to be a lot of ganks, and both teams are going to play to farm. Impact is just LeBron in the regular season. He just packs it in, waits for the playoff, and then wins. I understand what you mean about saving it for playoffs, but maybe not the best comparison. Ugh, Yorick versus Urgot early levels. PogChamp. No, not PogChamp. Resident Sleeper. That's the right emote. C9 trying for an early Drake. Not really possible. Early Ocean Drake's probably the best thing. Early Ocean Drake, like I would say 10-minute. Ocean Drake is the best dragon you can get. Ocean Drake provides you so much benefits in laning. Mana regen, HP regen, it's incredibly potent early game. But as the game goes on, it loses a lot of its strength. Do I watch any games at LCS or am I busy doing interview? I'm busy doing interviews, but if I do get like a site opening where I didn't get an interview, or the interview finished really quickly, I can watch some of the games, but mostly I can't. Isn't Ocean Drake pretty good when you play a 1-3-1? It's okay. There's just better Drakes. In a 1-3-1, I'd probably rather have Earth Drake or Air Drake over Ocean Drake, or even Inferno. Ocean is just super fucking good early. That's when, like, Ocean Drake in laning is when it shows the most power. Shouldn't Kai'Sa win bot this game? It's just a lot about push. And Sivir as a champion is just very interesting. Damn, that was actually a really good reaction from Zazel. The W flashed immediately, but Wiggly responded really well too. It's really hard to play against Sivir when she wants to push. It's unless you can outrange her or unless you can outpoke her, there's just not a lot of ways you can play with the Sivir. Oh my god, I hate these kind of plays. I have to go back and fucking talk to you guys about this. This is bad. Don't play for plating like this. You endanger yourself so much for 160 gold. This is so fucking bad. They should have just taken the early reset and that would have been more than fine. That overstay. Yikey yikes. Oh, good flash by Bio. Good flash by Bio. And Wiggly got the kill, but this overstay, man. This overstay. Does Sneaky play any other AD carries? He played mostly Israel, so he definitely played other AD carries. I mean, Sneaky plays everything. Israel, Lucian, Kai'Sa, Sivir. I don't think Sneaky really had a champion... Or, Sneaky really never had a champion pool problem. It's not that you always see him on Sivir, you just remember when he plays Sivir. Let's actually rewatch that fight. So C9 set up for Dragon. They started their entire engage onto an all-star with ultimate. CLG somehow started their entire engage on all-star with ultimate, and C9 chases and kills them. I want to commend C9 and I want to commend teams when they do well, but holy fuck, why the fuck is CLG spending all their engage, Jarvan EQ, ultimate, Galio ult, on an all-star with ultimate? Thinking. Go get that EQ ultimate on the all-star. And the Miss Ori ult after. Yes, exactly what we're trying to do. Thinking. Alright, just like, you know, kind of the mistake you talk about in solo queue, don't engage on an all-star with ultimate, and the team actually engages on an all-star with ultimate. Starting Herald, I think they have, it is a 4v5, Sivir far away, but they can't really contest again, and they give up the free Herald. CLG decision making is questionable. If you want to put pressure on Cloud9 there, I think you just clear out the vision instead of starting the Herald. Can you comment on the Orianna build? Let's see what they build. Now what we want to see from Cloud9 is force 5v5 team fights. As for CLG, they want to get picks. The only way they can come back is get picks. They can't beat Cloud9 straight up in a 5v5. They either split push with Yorick or they get picks. Tier Ori. I think Lute and Ori much better. Thoughts on Essence Rush Sivir? I interviewed Sneaky about Essence Rush Sivir. I think crit item Sivir is better, but Sneaky had his reasoning, so I'll show you guys, or when the interview comes out, you'll get to see. I don't want to spoil it. Well, CLG just has to look for picks now. They can't take straight on fights. Oh man. Push up mid, place wars. And Cloud9's gonna be very good. Oh, so things that Cloud9 does well that a lot of the other NA teams don't. Setting up team fights beforehand and engaging on the right target. Just that alone separates Cloud9 from so many of the other teams. Because they're so good about setting up the fight beforehand and getting the right engage. That's like 90% of the team fight. And Cloud9 gets it right. Woo, sneaky flash. Tier scales better, no, with their shield. Yes, tier scales better, but does scaling matter when the game's gonna end before the scaling actually matters? I mean, I swear there's always a J4 meta time period every year. J4 Kid overall is really good. He's a good ganker with his EQ. He can provide good engages with EQR. He's a jungler that provides engages, early game pressure. The only thing that he really struggles with is sometimes his early clearing and falling off late game. But a lot of time, League of Legends is about early game priority and team fighting. Don't worry, Weldon will turn this team around. Just wait for it. I don't know, man. It's not that I doubt Weldon. I doubt the players they have and kind of the feeling for this. Is Tier into hunting any good on Ori? I feel like Power Beeble feels like he has to melt tanks this game, so he's building that way. But Yeah, he's building that way because he has to melt tanks. Overall still disagree with the build. I don't know why people like Biofrost. That guy doesn't seem to be good. I think it's hard to judge Biofrost because he did well with doublelift, and without doublelift he's struggling to come onto his own as a shot caller and as a player. But people like Biofrost because of what he accomplished on TSM days, and he's a very like innocent, cute kind of player. So I feel like he has a lot of female fans. I don't know, is Biofrost even really to blame for CLG's faults? Stixay's been playing god awful. Darshan hasn't been himself. Pyre Evo is like the only real human player he has on his team. So, yes, Biofrost doesn't look that great, but is Biofrost really to blame? The infamous flash wall by Darshan. When I interviewed Darshan about the flash wall, he said he felt like he had to go for the engage and no one else was engaging. So sometimes you just kind of have to go for stuff like that and deal with the consequences. And I actually agree. Like sometimes you do have to go for stuff like that. Biofrost better than Afro at this point? Nah. Both underperforming this year, but hard to say one's better than the other from this year's performances, and Afro just has so much history of doing well. Yeah, Bio is potentially laning with 9th or the 10th best AD carry at the moment. A lot of these just came down to how well C9 was willing to set up for fights and how badly CLG botched the engages. They don't know how to play engage comps. They don't know how to play comps like this until they outscale. Really sad state that CLG is in.